Hi guys, Citrus Empire here with the first of many videos where I attempt to dissect my plays, so you guys don't end up making the same mistakes that I do. Now for your viewing pleasure today we have some weapon powered Glaive jungle. Now I would normally go for a cooldown build on Glaive because punts for days are hilarious, but I thought I'd switch it up a little, especially seeing as how our Sky was going for a crystal carry build up in the lane. We wanted a more balanced kind of team. So as you can see, my start to this game is pretty much what you'd expect. We're going to rush a double weapon blade basically straight away with an aim to rush into a sorrow blade as soon as possible. Could have gone for my A, but I chose to go for my B simply because I feel like the early clear on that B is just a little bit better than the A on the weapon power. Again, if it was that cooldown, I would be picking up the A, and I'd be going straight up to lane to try for that early first kill. Now, I do prefer to start my fronts when I'm on a melee lane, simply because it's a little bit more jungle control. If I was on, say, Samuel, I'd probably be going to my backs first, just for that safety, just to get that level 2. Whereas Glaive, you can see he's just quite happy to sit there, tank those hits, tank those hits, tank those hits, tank those hits. It's nothing that you wouldn't expect from him. Anyway, but you can really see that B putting the work for those early clears. It's not a huge bonus damage, you know, it's the low end crit on it, I believe. I can't remember the exact percentage off the top of my head. It isn't amazing, but it just pulls me through that early clear, especially considering that I'm going with a double weapon blade start and not any attack speed. So at this point I've got my A, I've got my B, level 2, and I know that I can solo this Elder Treant. Now there's a few characters I'm quite happy to do this on, but again for say a Black Feather I'd probably prefer to hit the level 3 mark first, then go in. Now as you might have noticed there, the route from that Treant, as I moved out of the jungle, it dropped out of vision and basically drops off. Now I don't know if that's a glitch or if it's anything like that, but it's something to be aware of. Now the Lance rushes in there, using his boots to get into the early fight, trying to go for the first blood. Now, a bit of a mistake on the Lance's part, but the positioning from the Sky just clips the Ringo. It's a shame that we go down that first 100 gold, but at the end of the day, like, a kill for a kill, it's a nice early trade. Now, I go in, probably a little bit too early again, because the punch wasn't up. Should have waited around. Sort of at this point my reasoning was, well, maybe I can wait around, but as you can see, Sky mops it up, really putting in the work with that forward barrage. And I'm just going to go straight over the wall, get back into farming. Again, you've probably noticed from this video, by the time it's done, you'll see a lot of me just farming and farming and farming. And probably get sick of my voice just chatting away. But again, I can't stress enough, when you're jungling, it is probably the most important thing that you just consistently sit on your rotations. You know when your mines are up, when your minions are up, your camps, so on and so forth. And I'm just pinging again because I know we want that. We don't want to give any gold over in the jungle where possible. But yeah, a real important thing is just being aware of the rotations, because that will allow you to more efficiently farm your jungle, more efficiently clear your jungle. In events like this, where you've got a cheeky bit of Ozo coming in to try for the kill, which he's not going to get because I've got my A up, I can just swing away from it, means that I've already cleared out my backs. I think the most they're going to get, a couple of pings come down, the most they get out of that is my mids and one of my fronts. So I'd prefer to have that kind of trade, you know, obviously building in, getting an early minions foot there, specifically just to synergize with the crit build that I'm going for. But yeah, so what I'm trying to do there is minimize a loss. So by immediately coming in, changing the way that I do my rotation at this point, so I'm doing my backs first, then cycling to my mids, means that in those situations, I'll know when my jungle's up. Enemy junglers won't. They won't be able to starve me out. Now, I'd obviously miss out on that mid Treant for a little bit there, but you know, considering that I didn't die, my fronts are now up, it's a fair trade. Like, it messes my rotation slightly rather than going back treant to backs to mids to so on and so forth. You know, puts a bit of a weird one on it, but it's still aware of those rotations, aware of what I'm doing. Now, Lance landing the impale there really lets me try and land that punt, but I mess it up so bad. Rather than going through him and sending him back towards the sky, he goes straight into where we've not got vision. It's probably my biggest flaw as playing Glaive, is I'm really bad for punting people into bushes rather than into my team. It's certainly something that I should work on. If you are intending to play Glaive, you should probably work on that too, just because it can get a bit fiddly now and again. I mean, none of us are Mango or, you know, those epic punts that we saw in Worlds last year, but, you know, it's always something to work on. It's a dream. So basically I was just working about there, looking for a potential team fight, or more to the point, staying there so if the team fight does kick off, and it is kicking off now, but given how far away I was, like, I just thought I'd go for the farm rather than anything else. Really pay attention to those rotations, make sure that when I am there for the next team fight, I'm not just going to be caught out, or I'll actually be able to get the damage off. Now again, once I've gone for that farm, I come up, I leave the lane as it is, and immediately go for the Adagio. Now the reason for that is because his heals are so strong at this point. You know? And while I do go down there, taking out the Adagio, that Ozo's sustain drops so much. I mean, his sustain's crazy anyway. His sustain is so crazy, but taking out the Adagio early means that if the Ozo wanted to engage with the Ringo, we'd have the stronger team fight just by way of having the Glaive, well, not the Glaive because I was dead, but the Lance Sky. Anyway, going once again over the wall to get into the rotation faster. Now, because I know I'm going to be farming for the duration of that cooldown, I know I can drop that to get over the wall and get straight into my farm. Now, Lance, I'm presuming that was an impale. I didn't see it when it happened. But
Gold mine is
pretty solid player. I mean, what he's doing is basically leaving me to power farm my jungle. So my levels go up, my gold goes up, while I'm not having a huge impact on the team fights early, which is kind of counterproductive for a weapon Glaive. The pressure he's putting on the lane is so useful. Then just, I say intentionally clearing out vision there, but as you probably tell, that's not intentional. Something I need to work on as a jungler is definitely picking up some flares when I can. There it goes, the punt again onto the Adagio, just to stop him from getting into that fight. Now, as you can see, the Ozo just sustaining through all of this. There comes a Ringo ult, so that's probably a good cue for me to leave, because the damage coming out of that Ozo was insane right there. I mean, you saw me picking up the Oak Heart, so I could try and build that into a reflex block, but oh my days, the damage from that Ozo is ridiculous. Now, we do take the Ringo, so it is, again, even trades, 2 for 2.
Double kill, enemy hero.
Again, they do mop up the Ozo, but while I was sat in the base, I was sat there looking at it and just going, now he's probably going to survive that somehow. But no, goes down, good times. Now that Sky was 5-1 by the way, so she's putting in some serious work, and a big part of that, aside from being a mechanically skilled player, is that Lance going up and basically harassing the hell out of Ringo, making sure that any time Ringo wants to go anywhere in that lane, he's going to have to be super cautious. So look, he's going to throw out an impale, take Ringo's A, take that slow, and just walk into the bush and knock him. So here I am waiting it out, hoping that someone overextends, just checking the range on that, you know, moving up, and there's the Ozo, so I'm not joking it. Just put him away from the Sky. There's no good block by Lance there. I mean, you're going to see a few of those later on, but just wanted to keep him away from the Sky, keep him off that back line, where he can drop so much damage. Now, I'm getting the reflex block at this point because we've seen the Adagio ult, we've seen that kind of stuff coming into Ozo, we've got the Ringo ult to look out for. I mean, reflex block is basically your best friend, and I definitely go down there. You can see how much damage that Ozo is dropping, and his range on his B once it latches onto you, so good on that acro bounce. Now, Lance does go down there, so that is a 2-for-1 trade, but again, we do look to be ahead. I'm still feeling confident. Although I was worried about the Sky there because it looked like the Ringo and Adagio were going to come up, but you know, she's got this. Once again, going over the wall to get into those backs. Now, my build at this point isn't particularly impressive. Gotta say, it's I've opted for a bit more defense and a little bit more utility, going for those early tier 2 boots, the regen. Just could have timed that a bit better and punted the Adagio back in towards the Sky, but messed that up. But as you can see, it's not huge at the moment. Part of this is because I'm more running defense on, at this point, starting to run more defense for the Sky, even though she goes down. So his damage on his own with those couple of foots, you know, picking up that early tier 3, now this is something a lot of junglers do, but again on the weapon Glaive, just for the more frequent punts and more frequent views, it's quite nice. But yeah, as I was saying, the minions' feet are there more just to add a little bit of crit to the build. It's nothing major, but most of the damage is coming from that Sorrow Blade. And of course picking the utility of those tier 3 boots for the extra energy, and of course the cooldown percentage that they give. Now at this point, this is when I'm going to start looking to build into that double Tyrant's monocle. Now I never used to be a fan of this, but more recently, given how I've been playing Glaive, I've really been enjoying the damage that it can kick out, especially when you catch someone off guard. But yeah, so again, going in for those backs, not particularly invading this game, mostly because it's the Ozo Adagio comp. I really enjoy invading on a lot of different comps, but when I see an Ozo and when I see an Adagio, I'm just going to make sure that I've got my backs covered. I'm going to give up a couple now and again, I'm aware of this. I'd rather not give them that really huge early lead that they're looking for. So again, Lance soaking up a few abilities there, a few hits, just backing up into this bush because we don't really want to fight them. There's the ult for Ozo, and I'm going to punt him straight into that tower to try and shut him down. Now, at this point, they're dropping Fountain, but we've pretty much soaked up 2 ults there. Nice trade, 2 ults for 1, I believe. This guy's got such a low cooldown, especially on the build that she's running. There's the third ult from Adagio, so we're pretty sound at the moment. Now, speaking of ults, I don't really use mine at all on a weapon Glaive. Mostly because, again, I prefer the damage that comes out from his B and his A, and I like having those stacks there as A, an emergency thing, and B, just a little bit of extra lifesteal. Helps sustain me through those clears, especially earlier on, like towards the level 6 end. Less so now I've hit level 12. But again, as you can see, I've maxed the A for the cooldown on there, and I've maxed the B again, pretty much cooldown and damage. It's all I'm thinking of there is cooldown and damage. I'm pretty much playing like you'd expect, and there we go. And I mess up that so badly that they're going to punish me for it. The moment Ringo reflex blocked, I should have just burst that off him and then left. I should have gotten out of there. I shouldn't have extended that far. But you know, I thought I had that. Got too confident and really suffered for it. Now, despite the fact that I'm shopping over the top of this fight, you can see that at this point, if I'm not there, they don't have to fear the punt stunts, they just have to fear the lance, and they're really going to drop some damage on that tower. Now, don't think they get it ever. But yet again, Sky going in, focusing the Adagio. Now that's the key thing to stopping that particular comp is stop the Adagio, you stop most of the sustain. He also unsurprisingly does pick up the kill, but me and Lance just going to drop a bit of work on this tower, see what we can do for it. And I think we managed to get it down. Yeah, tower aggro going on to me rather than Lance, which is fair enough. But yeah, dropping that tower, and at this point there's the Ringo ult. Weird bit of animation there as I punt just as it just as it hits me, which for a moment made me think, oh, is that like did that block that? But no, it noticed the effects afterwards, noticed the damage ticking over, which is fine because I'm going to go to that tree and I'm going to get the heals, I'm going to go to my backs, and again, rotation. Every time someone says, oh, so, again, turret, so it's still a pretty even 1-for-1 trade going on. No one's really managed to snowball, but again, the question that I get asked when people say, oh, Citrus, you blame POA, you blame teams, you know, you jungle a lot. What makes a good jungler? And the first answer I always give is rotations. Now, this stuff like this on Glaive is so satisfying. They've not seen me come into the bush because I've gone round. I'm just using the mini-map to sort of let the Odo get too confident and then just spring on him like that. Wait until he thinks he can go in, thinks he's safe, thinking I'm farming, and then just nope. Delete him, makes for an easier team fight. And again, you'll notice due to the Adagio, we're not diving because he can just heal that Ringo back up. He can drop the extra damage. There's Ringo's ult coming out. I'm just going to take a little bit away from Ozo's backs there. I probably could have just gone further down, taken his actual backs as well. Got some real gold out of that. But at this point, it's better that we just siege up this turret. Make sure that they can't flank us by sitting in the bush. There's the dive, and I'm just going to specifically aim to pump the Ringos you saw there into the turret. Just trap him in there, pin him in, and it's all good. Now, denying the Ozo, one of my favourite tricks as Glaive, is just he jumps in and there's a punt, there's an afterburn, he's not going to land that. And there's another one that's 2 in a row, and it's so satisfying because when we get to similar kind of builds, the cooldown on his aggro bounce, it lines up almost perfectly with the cooldown from Afterburn. Now, Lance trying to get a bit tricky and go over the wall there, but as you can see, it's not one that you can A over as Lance. You can certainly roll over it though, as he did. Now they get a bit cheeky, try to stick around for the fight when it's a 3v2. Real bad idea. Now, at this point, it's all kind of downhill from now. I've got those Tyrant's monocles. The enemy team are putting up a really good fight at this. I'm going in on that second Tyrant's monocle. We're going for cracking. And you'll notice I'm not using abilities at this point. Well, I say that and then immediately. But I start, the moment I notice the Ringo, I stop using them, I start relying on those auto attacks, and I make sure that I have just enough for that to try and flip over. And obviously don't land it, it goes onto the lance. But yeah, again, because I took that splash damage just as Kraken went down, gonna have to get a tree, and it puts me out of that push just for a moment. So again, if you ever are defending from a Kraken, you know, just try and get, even if it's an auto attack off you can range. My Lance overextended there because I don't think he noticed me going back. I probably should have pinged. Again, if you're solo queuing, rely on your pings, rely on that so much. There's the punt again coming down onto Yozo. It's a double kill from Sky. This Sky played so well all game. I mean, I probably should have added them. But again, if you're EU, when you see that Hugo 1710, wanting to play a Sky, you just let them. They are good, and this is basically game at this point. We managed to pick up an ace, we've staggered their team. It's going to be the Adagio and the Ozo up, but between me and the Sky, I mean, we're good. Like, so there's the Adagio, there's the Ozo. Punt the Ozo away, immediately stopping his ult. Again, I'd like to say, oh yeah, predicted, calculated, but again,
Ally shut down.
there's the win. But yeah, so into the Ozo, just look to get your punts off into his acro bounces, especially if you don't have a lance. Really well played from my team. Just pointlessly buying items at the end there. But yeah, no, that was a lot of fun. A lot of Glaive there. Not the best Glaive performance in the world, but I didn't want to show you something where I go like 18-10. I mean, the 6-4-8 there, the 10-4-8 coming out of Sky, the Lance. He was again crazy good, crazy good. You see him on the 339, sorry. And that's about it. That's all I've really got time for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope me rambling on made a bit of sense to you. I was pointing a few things out that you noticed how I was rotating through the jungle there. And again, if you were just looking for something that's slightly different, something that you could slightly change about your rotations or anything like that, hopefully this helped you out. Hopefully you can use this and start climbing. And if you have any further queries, any comments like that, just drop them in that comment box. Obviously hit subscribe if you're feeling super generous. But yeah, see you in the fold, guys.